President Ilir Meta has initiated a new consultation process in preparation of giving a response to the second proposal by the Prime Minister to appoint Sandër Lleshi as the new Interior Minister, replacing Fatmir Jafai. With a reputation of not adhering to laws and the lack of a constitutional court, German politician Martin Henze explained European investors will not come to Albania despite interest, as there is simply no security. The symbol of the 100th anniversary of independence was removed from Eagle Square yesterday evening to pave the way for the construction of a 3-lane overpass as part of Tirana's new Outer Ring Road project. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday the 10th of November 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Although referring to those who recently commented on the Constitution as amateurs, the President of the Republic started reviewing the second request by Prime Minister Rama proposing to appoint Sandër Lleshi in the position of Interior Minister. In a reaction issued at lunchtime today, the head of state spokesman warned that Ilir Meta has started the process of cooperation with the responsible institutions to obtain all possible information regarding Sandër Lleshi's candidacy. The statement issued by the presidency reads, Mr. Ilir Meta has started the process of cooperation with responsible institutions to obtain clear, complete and exhaustive answers to all issues for which the President could not clarify the first time, despite his continued efforts for cooperation. Regarding this new process, the President has decided to inform the Speaker of the Assembly of his requests. The procedure for appointing a minister is a process of mandatory and constitutional cooperation between the three institutions, the Prime Ministry, the Presidency and the Assembly, concluded the statement. But does this new process mean that Mr. Meta will sign the name of Sandër Lleshi? The President has not yet revealed the answer, but has confirmed that based on what is currently available, his original decision still stands and he would only reconsider if more exhaustive information came to light. President Meta is determined to fulfill his constitutional responsibilities rigorously and within constitutional terms, not only in the interest of respecting the Constitution, but also strengthening national security, where the Interior Ministry has a key role. Both the Embassy of the United States and the Embassy of the European Union have clearly appealed that Albania needs a functional Interior Ministry. At the start of the week, the Prime Minister said he would leave the deadline open for the head of state so that he could be obedient to the candidacy. The Constitutional Court has been paralysed since March, with only 2 members remaining, while other members continue through the vetting process. Bashkim Dedya, the head of the Constitutional Institution, who is still awaiting the decision of the appellate panel, called for the re-evaluation of justice figures to be realised more quickly. Dedya says that the deadlock of the Constitutional Court can only be solved by the Council of Appointments in Justice, who will make appointments for the members of the Constitutional Court. But the Council of Appointments in Justice has also remained without a chair responsible for calling and running the meetings. The President of the Constitutional Court renewed the Albanian policy so that if the draft law on the magistrates' school is not approved, it will have serious consequences for justice. Although cautious not to fall prey to the political interpretation of the sea agreement between Albania and Greece, Bashkim Dedya makes it clear that any unconstitutional action must face constitutional justice. President Meta, during a visit to the United States, reiterated that the sea agreement with Greece could not be ratified without the Constitutional Court. European investors do not come to Albania because justice is lacking. Martin Henze, chair of the Transport Commission and member of the Christian Democratic Union of Germany, said that a lack of a constitutional court and poor implementation of fiscal laws are major detractors for Western companies. How can foreign companies invest when there is no infrastructure, no clear rules and a court that does not work? What do you expect from French and German investors? This kind of a kink cannot be fixed by the European Union. You simply have to improve it. If you notice that European companies are not coming to Albania, it is your fault. If you build confidence and solid regulations, then the situation will definitely change. I know specifically that companies are interested, explained Henze. With regard to PPP concessions, Henze suggests that important project assessments should be made. We have implemented many PPP projects in the EU, but I am surprised that such systems are being implemented in Albania, as they are not long-term solutions. In Germany, there is a special government structure where project estimates are made, and the deadline is about 50 years, since that is where they remain profitable and do not aggravate the budget, said Henze. The head of the Chamber of Commerce demanded more attention from the European Union for the region, while stressing that PPPs should not become a burden on the budget. The well-known monument of the Albanian two-headed eagle, which once stood in the centre of the four-laned roundabout, aptly named after the statue as Eagle Square at the entrance of Tirana, was removed yesterday evening. Cast in steel and standing at a height of 6 metres tall, the eagle was placed in the centre of the roundabout on November 2012 as a symbol of the 100th anniversary of independence. However, as part of the new Outer Ring Road, this is the exact place where a 3-level overpass will be built in order to solve the situation of chaotic traffic in the capital. This road segment from Palati Mëshëgjeta to Eagle Square will offer 27 kilometres stretch of road, 3 lanes wide, in order to ease the difficult traffic situation. The project, considered one of the most important in the past 100 years, has caused resentment and revolt among residents whose dwellings are affected by the construction of the Outer Ring. 317 objects will be demolished to make way for the road. Affected families have been offered rental concessions by the municipality for a period of 1 year as compensation. Currently, 5 lots are under construction, 2 in the field of helicopters at Shkoza and the new maternity area, as well as 3 requalification lots from the technology school to Eagle Square. The Socialist Movement for Integration has accused the government of cheating Albanians in regards to public debt, saying that they are hiding the true amount by submitting lower figures. The declared public debt is said to be 70%, whereas that which has been ascertained by the Constitutional Authority and verified by the State Supreme Audit is higher at 72%. Based on this issue and in the current moment, Albanians should know that they are ahead of an unprecedented financial economic catastrophe, said Petrit Vasili, the head of the SMI's parliamentary group. The Socialist Movement for Integration accuses the prosecution of closing their eyes and ears to this situation in an act of cooperation with state crime. The Albanian prosecution is in a most difficult position and a critical position, as they have publicly announced that they have closed their eyes more than once to this issue, and it is almost certain that they are cooperating in a true state of crime. After a constitutional authority reports on debt figures that the government has hidden, here we are ahead of a scandalous economic crime that does not hit a single individual or some individuals, but Albania as a whole. No action has been taken by the Albanian prosecution, and this is quite alarming. Before any other issue, it would have to examine this issue, realise the blame, the culprits, the perpetrators, and with its actions, help at least to stop the impending financial disaster. Yet we have no such action, asserted Vasili. The Socialist Movement for Integration estimates that Albania is now facing a financial pyramid of frightening dimensions due to the government. Albania today has a government in front of a frightening financial pyramid, and there is nothing left of the Albanian justice authorities that should be in charge of the investigation. The only way forward is for the people to face the situation openly, in their own right, in the right to protect their own economic and social interests, which are threatened by a group of criminal adventurers. These people who have planned to fill their bags with money to then leave the country at the time of the disaster and let the economic downturn and misery be left for Albanians to suffer for decades before passing the problem on to their children. Petrit Vasili closed his statement by declaring that his party will take a radical approach in the coming days and weeks to address the issue. Facing natural disasters by municipalities is a near impossible mission because of the scarce funding the government allocates to them. This problem has become more sensitive after the territorial reform because the territory of administration has increased, but not the funds available to address floods or fires. The Deputy Mayor of the municipality of Shkodra, Arben Gjuraj, gave this answer in response to Minister Olta Gjachka, who criticised the municipalities for the form of emergency management. Ever since the ministry took the first steps of territorial reform, adding new competencies to local government, they have failed to supply sufficient funds, responded Arben Gjuraj. Flood avoidance is only done through concrete investments such as embankments and drainage canals. And according to the Deputy Mayor of Shkodra, the government, in this regard, is simply being stingy. The government knows well the responsibilities we have, as they were the ones who determined our competencies, and it was them who gave the promise of support, said Arben Jurai. It's worth noting that flooding is not only an Albanian concern, but a regional phenomenon. Kosovo also faces similar concerns, say state officials there. There are over 150,000 endangered inhabitants across more than 25,000 hectares of land, informed Shpend Agaj, a state official of Kosovo. The statements were made during the proceedings of a two-day regional conference on anti-flooding measures that brought together experts and officials from Albania, Montenegro, Kosovo and Macedonia. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and have a lovely weekend.